This is Will Buchanan reporting for the Walk for Liberty.
It's day 44, May 27th, 2008. It is interesting the types of things that you see along the side of the road. I'm coming up on a few buildings which, under most normal circumstances, would be completely insignificant. However, I've been walking across such unvaried terrain for several days that these buildings now actually seem kind of interesting, and I'm wondering what they are. I'm guessing the ones to the right have something to do with the railroad, although I'm still not sure what these other ones are. The big one especially seems very out of place in this landscape. It's actually a winery. They do have the fields of grapes apparently growing in front, but it just doesn't strike me as the sort of place that I would think of as a winery. These remind me of the tsunami warning alarms I'm used to seeing along the beach in Hawaii. Although, if that's what they are, I wonder what they warn against. A river of tumbleweeds. There are still places along here that are lush. Stark contrast between a healthy field and a burned field.
Brooke didn't join me on the walk today because she had to go into town to get another replacement belt for our RV.
We had gone in yesterday as well, but unfortunately the belt that we had picked up then turned out to be too small. We drove across the river to a town in Oregon because that was the nearest decent-sized town from us. If you watched my video from about a week ago, you know that pumping your own gas in Oregon is illegal.
We also stopped to get some gas, and I found it amusing that even though I wasn't allowed to pump my own gas, that a boy was allowed to.
He was even wearing a shell uniform.
Apparently he's had the necessary state training on how to pump gas that I haven't had.
I'd like to share with you something else I had gotten a chuckle from. We had picked up a paper in which there was a story about a man who had cut his own car in half to avoid paying a tax.
The man had bought a $100 non-working Ford Fiesta, which he was going to fix up for his stepson.
He had then actually legally registered it with the state to be an off-the-road vehicle. However, an overenthusiastic enforcement company working for the licensing bureau had noticed that his bumper was sticking out 2 inches beyond his driveway, so they came and impounded the car.
When the enforcement company came back, demanding $600 or else they would tow it away, the man grabbed his disc cutter and cut the car in half.
The man then invited them to tow away the rear half, since it was the only section that was breaking the law.
The enforcement crew then freaked out and called the police.
10 officers in 5 police cars showed up, along with a 6-man fire crew.
Fortunately, the police took no action, and the disgruntled enforcement crew told the man he could just keep the car.
The man, Mr. Taylor, was quoted as saying, "I had to make a point. The vehicle was totally legal where it was. These people are petty and won't listen to you. It was a drastic step, but I stand by my decision."
The funniest quote, though, was from the spokesman for the enforcement firm, who condemned his actions as dangerous and highly irresponsible. I, however, commend him for standing up to those henchmen for the state.
The Columbia is so narrow in parts, yet so wide in others. Guess this farmer really had a vendetta against this weed. Unauthorized entry prohibited, but if you're not supposed to be in here, how are you supposed to get down to this informational sign? Today I went 9.72 miles, and here are my GPS coordinates. We're back at our campground, and I'm going to commit a little more civil disobedience. In my opinion, there's an unnecessarily slow 5-mile-an-hour speed limit, so I'm going to run faster than that through it. I'm starting from a standstill. I got up to at least 13 miles an hour, thus breaking the law. This is Will Buchanan for blog.walkforliberty.com, signing off.